just joined in. I think that we're going to launch the session shortly, but before we do, I would like to mention a few technical details. We kindly ask you during the session to mute your and I take this opportunity to say that I'm very proud that we have reached the final session. I would like to thank all the participants for joining online these sessions. And I would like to ask my colleague, Maria Grazia, to start recording the English version. And because we have an international project, shortened bond. Somebody was making jokes about this abbreviation, saying, "Oh, the project is James Bond." No, it's our project, organizational development of the agricultural enterprises. I'm very happy to see all of you present at the online session with a lot of courage. Dear farmers, dear processors, dear young people, I would like to remind you that these events took place at the 5th of February. This was the first event to analyze the organizational performance or structure, with the task of developing an action plan, with presenting a lot of tools, and this event happened physically in Chisinau with the support of FAO organization, guided and facilitated by Maria Grazia. And during that event, we've learned a lot of things. We found out about tools that can be used every day. The second event was scheduled for March, but because of the situation and circumstances, we were forced to be flexible and to adjust to the new conditions created by COVID, and we had to work online. Even though this new situation brought a lot of challenges, we've tried to be flexible and to adapt to new gadgets, new communication ways, to be able to present those tools, to be able to educate and to share the experience coming from Mamen, from Cordoba University, from Spain, and they were talking about the organizational group as a complex group, about the complex conflicts that can occur, and about the emotional. Of course, all this event proved to us that we can use this tool not only in this session, but to develop the social sector, to develop regional development, and to use it for other sectors in agriculture. And finally, we arrived to September, when again we connected online under the topic developing cooperation and communication. And again, this topic was divided in 3 online sessions. We've first seen the experience of development and cooperation of co-ops, successful co-ops, and we've learned from the success stories from France, Norway, and not lastly, we used this opportunity to showcase success from Moldova. And we had a presentation about the co-op AgroStock. And today, being at the final session, and we are very happy to be here, and I congratulate you all and us as well. We are going to speak about developing creativity, developing communication, and why not developing innovation via gamification. And I invite each of us to participate actively. And that being said, I have the opportunity to share my screen to start my presentation, and please let me know if you can see it. Okay, perfectly. Even if this presentation is based on gamification named What is Your Story, a tool developed by Coventry University, based on Dispute Media Learning Lab, which tested several gaming tools, and they were thinking, if the serious things happening or the obstacles or all the challenges happening in the economy, can these obstacles be piloted or solved via a game? And the reply is yes. Why? Because research shows that when people are informal, when people feel free, they can develop the most innovative solutions using their creativity, using their freedom, using new approaches, and finding the right solutions to these challenges. Of course, in the BOD project, we've piloted several gaming tools. First of all, I would like to thank the authors that gave us the opportunity to participate to team building sessions and to test how this is working in real life. And I'm proud to say that we did the game based on Lego. And actually, we thought that these Lego pieces are only for children, but for several hours, adults had the role and the state of mind of a child, which doesn't give any limits of creativity. And the adults had the chance to be creative and find the best solutions to the problems discussed with the colleagues, with other actors from the agricultural sector. And it was not only tested for the agricultural sector, but for the agro-food sector as well. The next topic was to remix the narration or the storytelling, which is based on creating a strategy for a product or service. And this helps to develop the thinking, and it's oriented to be interactive with the participants. And the participants get to see each other physically, face to face, and they can communicate verbally and non-verbally. And this process contributes to stimulate creativity, to stimulate the game, but also the engagement in order to increase creativity, innovations in the company or in the group on behalf of all of the participants and all of the actors that have certain obstacles or challenges or problems. And today we are going to test another tool, a game, a card game based, this is a narrative card game used in order to encourage creative and abstract thinking. And in the agricultural sector, the young people that want to be farmers, want to be processors, want to be active actors in this sector, they can participate in this game. And we, the participants, are going to encourage the participants to use their visual skills, oral communication skills in order to explore this topic that we've proposed for this session. We encourage the participants to be very free, full of fun, to be able to be creative, and to find a solution for improving the cooperation and development in our country. Thanks to involvement in this game, the participants can improve their ideas, they can improve their oral communication, which leads to explore a topic. And by involvement in this game, we develop our trust amongst the company. And why not to develop those ideas that we can share with other colleagues? With this game, we could find adequate solutions and a methodology. And I would like to say proudly that I've tested the methodology through this game. And you will see a few glimpses of how we were sharing our histories, how we were having fun, and at the end we were successful to choose the best story. We didn't choose the person that was most creative or most active, but the story. And we've received a big flux of energy, of positive energy. And I think that today we are going to test once again this tool, this game, and you will see how interesting it is to work together and to find interesting solutions for our challenge, not only for us individually, but for the colleagues, for the groups, for the organization. Of course, if you want to receive more information, I added the links in the slide, and you can reach the sites. And why not? You can see maybe the Romanian version, and if you are courageous, once the situation will country, we can test this game face to face. And why not, we can test it online if this pandemic will be for much more time. And that being said, I would like to give the word to my colleague, who is the online facilitator, and she has advanced experience with doing facilitation, and she was always with us. I would like to introduce Ana Mardar and to give the word to her, and she will continue this session based on the methodology, based on the techniques. She will share what is her story, and she will say a few words about today's online session. She will explain how we are going to work in group, how we are going to express our creativity. And I have another important announcement. At the end of today's session, we are going to sign a memorandum of understanding with the actors that participated in the previous sessions, and they express interest in to continue these tools for passing the information and guiding the rural farmers, and not only individual farmers, but groups of farmers, groups of producers that would like to go with their experience to the next level. And we also have tickets for the participants that participated to the sessions of this lab. That being said, Anna, I give you the word to say hello to the participants. Lucia, thank you so much for the introduction. I think you're already used to with our presence in this chat, and you already got used to the team, and the team got used to the participants. Yes, it is a challenge. And I would say that today's session is particularly interesting. I was also curious to test these methods and these games that we've taken from our international partners. And sometimes each of us works in different teams, in certain communities, let's say it like this. We are part of associations, part of groups, including in the agricultural sector. And when we have challenges, or when we have obstacles in our activity, we need to generate solutions that not necessarily come in the mind very easy. For this reason, using some innovative tools are very useful, and they help us that together as a group, as a unity, as a co-op, as an association, to respond to these challenges. And this tool is an innovative and interesting tool, which we are going to try to test together with you to understand how it is applicable in our context. I see that Lucia already shared the slide with this tool, but I would like to go back. I would like to continue the presentation of the tool and to look at the methodology to understand how it works. As I was saying, oftentimes we need an additional help in order to identify the right solution or to find new solutions or replies to our questions, replies to our challenges. And oftentimes we need to formulate these replies or these solutions together as a team, because the members of a team complete each other. And in order to find innovative solutions, many times it's not possible to find them by ourselves. So this game gives us this opportunity and gives us the possibility to express our creativity by creating stories. What does this tool has as a core? To create stories based on visual cards. For example, you can see a set of cards displayed, and these cards can help us to create a story or to create an idea. 3 parameters. And I was saying in previous sessions, we had more opportunities. I was saying that in our live sessions, face-to-face sessions, we had other opportunities to cooperate, to work together, but in this online session, it's wonderful to have these 3 cards, which gives us the opportunity to identify or to create or to give birth to new ideas. And this can give us new ideas of people, context, and the new activity. So following these 3 parameters, we have analyzed what we could form. We can see on these 3 cards a lady, the clouds, and a caterpillar. So when we want to create a story, we have a topic for which we use this tool. So looking at these 3 cards, I was thinking about using the context, the ways of communication. And looking at these 3 cards, what came to my mind? The community is the base for an interaction of different actors. We can see in the first image a parrot, a cat, a person is the same in a community. There are different types of individuals and people, and there could be a symbiosis between these people, between these actors. And it depends of us as members of the community to have that symbiosis, and it's based on the way we communicate. And the efficiency of communication is at the basis of the context, the background. And it influences how much harmony is in that community. But taking into account the fact that every person is different, be it in a community, be it in an association, be it in a group, each member can adjust in order to develop this community, develop this association, and we can be flexible and to work together and to suffer this transformation like this caterpillar, and to transform us from a caterpillar into a butterfly. So this is the story that came into mind based on the 3 cards presented. There is no general rule. The role of these cards is to ignite the creativity, to be creative, and to generate solutions, and to help our brain to generate solutions based on 3 images. So I invite you all to make this exercise, we as a group. And we would like to start by creating a story together with you. Because we cannot physically select a card, this would be the first step. We have a pre-established set of images So I kindly ask you to connect to the game and be active and help us to create a story. I kindly ask you to formulate a short story like I just did with the previous three cards, based on the three cards for people, context, and activities. We are going to offer you three images for your reflection, and we would like to hear your story as a reply to the question, what is important for a corporation? Especially since in the previous sessions we've talked a lot about the key elements for cooperation, about what stimulates cooperation, what are the factors necessary at the level of association, community, and central level. So hear from you, looking at these three cards, what do you see as a reply to that question? So we have three cards referring to people, context, and activities. So you see the visuals on each card. For the people, you see a gentleman with two dogs. For the context, you see a box of fruits, and at the activity you see a meeting with a speaker. So please unleash your creativity. We would like to give you 2-3 minutes and prepare your little story and take the word and share that story. So I'm looking at the watch to reserve 2 minutes for you to have the time to analyze these cards, to have a brainstorm, and after 2 minutes I invite one of you to share what story came to mind to reply to that question. Anna, if I can intervene, I would like to mention that nobody is going to evaluate your story. Nobody is going to give a grade to the story. We are just trying to be creative, to use these elements about people, context, and activity, and to try their hand on making a story as much as they can. Yes, I agree. If there's somebody that would like to take the word, you can even take the word now in a minute. If you cannot speak, if you cannot use your microphone, you can write it in the chat as well. I am looking at the time and I'm going to measure it not to exceed 2 minutes. So I'm looking at the watch. We still have 1 minute. Yes, I'm certain that these 2 minutes are going to be used to use their communication skills, their creativity. Okay, I agree. Let's see what stories we have because the time expired. So I would like to ask who would be the first volunteers. Okay, I would like to look at the list of participants because I already know most of you and to select one of you. Wait, doesn't anyone volunteer? I just want to share that I was part of testing the Lego game and I received so much pleasure and so much energy. And I'm certain that somebody would like to dare and be the first volunteer. I want to assure you that we are not going to criticize you, and we're going to encourage you. And the first one will receive the most bragging, the most appreciation. Okay, then I will try to be the first. Okay, I would like to break the ice. Yes, please. Well, I looked at these three cards. The first one, I think it's a family picture where we see the gentleman with his family members, with his dogs. This is my impression. The second card shows merchandise that is placed in a store, be it supermarket or smaller store, for selling. And the third card shows meeting with several participants where a lady, she is either training them or reading some results during the meeting. This was short. But how do we connect these two cards to, and how do we reply to the question, what is important for a cooperation? Wait, okay. Well, if we think about cooperation, we think about transparency coming from the third image. And cooperation includes correctiveness, which is related to the second image. And the cooperation is based on trust, which is expressed by the first card, because the first card expresses trust. Oh, very interesting story. You see, you are so creative that you created the stories from the third card to the first, which I would not have thought of. Thank you so much for your story. Thank you for listening. Ionel Petru, we kindly ask you to mute your audio because we can hear your background noise. Or if you would like to share the story that you have in mind. Otherwise, I invite other participants to share their story that they come up with by looking at these images. Okay, maybe we should give Petru. Okay, I see that Petru unmuted his audio, and okay, we invite him to share his story. Okay, but I heard you speaking and I already forgot my story. Okay, try to remember. Well, looking at the first card, I have my beginning of the story is that people in society are the most active. People that have a problem are the most active in order to try to solve that problem. And sometimes the cooperation is infringed by the lack of trust, by the lack of engagement, and the leader, the management that is trusted with solving the problem is not trusted. And if I look at the second card, I have the impression that it is presented the results of some producers, some farmers. And these products are important. And looking at the third card, it's important to have needs to cooperate, to share the experience, to take the word, because these sharing the experience increases the trust and the cooperation in the group. So these are the elements of my story. Thank you so much for sharing the story. I see that you had a very short time, but you came up with very complex narration. We're going to ask our participants about their opinion. Do we have any other volunteer who would like to share his story? I see that Christy is interested. Yes. Looking at the first image, I see the expression of trust and safety, because I look at this person and I have the impression, I have the image of trust, because his dogs trust him, and he is trustworthy, and he gives safety because the dogs are feeling safe around him. If we look at the second image, I see a group of people, a group of farmers coming with their products and displaying and for sale. And the third image gives me the impression that expressing the opinion is okay, no matter the opinion. So openness, this is what the third image gives me. Exchange of opinion, even though they're against or for, discussions, compromise, and common ground. Okay, thank you for these ideas, but how do we reply to the question? So using these elements, trust, safety, products, and communication. Well, I can connect it to the company, right? So the first image gives me the impression of safety. If you don't trust, if you can't deliver something, you are certain that your colleague in the company is going to save you or help you out. And I'm going to the third, and this is connected to the company, that we are going to share our opinions, and we're going to share our knowledge and help each other. And coming to the context, I'm not sure how I can relate this to the company, to the principle of cooperation. Okay, we accept your story. It's not mandatory to include all the images, because it depends on each person how they see these images. Thank you so much for sharing this. We would like to see if there is somebody else interested to share the story that they to looking at these images. We kindly ask the participants to mute their audio because we can hear the background noise. Yes, I apologize, my child just came in, but I wanted to share my story. The first image reflects the image of a director, a general director, basically a leader that takes care of his employees or takes care of the member of an association, somebody that is very careful. And I look at this image and I see a lot of care, because he holds his dogs with a lot of care, and these dogs can be seen as the members of the association or the members of the company. Looking at the second image, this image says that we are all different, but with the help of communication, we can reach a homogeneous opinion, an homogeneous result. And the third image is our capacity to persuade, our capacity to communicate to the other members, our capacity to communicate, and we can obtain a common ground. We can work for the same object by continuing the image number 2, by being homogeneous, by being consistent in our activities, in our products. We can reach common ground. We can reach the third card, which is working for the same objectives through communication and persuasion. Thank you so much for this story, for this narration. I'm seeing that 4 of you looked at the same images but came up with different histories, with different ideas. trying to reply to the question, what is important to a corporation? Is there any other volunteers that would like to share their story, their history? I would like to share my story. Hello, everyone. Yes, Anna, let's be balanced with the gender aspect. Let's invite a lady and a man and to keep this in mind as well. Okay, I give the word to Madam Angela. Listening to the other stories and looking at the images and trying to reply to the question, what is important for a cooperation? I would like, this came to mind. My story would start more creative if I will unleash my creativity to the maximum today. At the first card, I would like to remind you that several people from Wongen try to create their own community based on their needs. And those people understood that they are the main asset and they could write down some vision, some mission based on real needs that they have. That group came together and they understood that their main problem was a market for their products. So they started looking into marketing, they started looking for the right people, and they understood that they need to cooperate in order to promote their products better, to sell their fruits, their products for a better price, and in order to reach the most popular stores or popular farmers market. And in meetings, having countless discussions, countless debates, and sometimes having some misunderstandings. But these misunderstandings were solved constructively, successfully, and finally this group identified good solutions, and now they sell very well their production. They have a better profit. And my story ends with this quote. Please understand that if we are going to cooperate, we are all going to gain. Thank you so much, Angela, for this creative story. It's a very complex and well-formulated story based on the image, but you brought in so many details to this image, creating a very complex story. What else I wanted to propose to you? I see, Lucia, that we showed 3 images which ignited a flux of stories. And I have a good news. We will give you the opportunity to let this flux of creativity go and grow throughout the day because we have an exercise for working in group. And let's see. And I kindly ask you to use the chat. I would like you to vote. We've had 5 stories, all related to these 3 images. First one was said by Andrei, then by Mr. Yuan, by Christy, then a story by Vitali, and by Madam Angela. So we've had these stories, different stories based on 3 cards. So we kindly ask you to vote in the chat which story was more fitted to the question, which was the most complex formulated, which one was similar to what you had in mind. So you are free to choose the reasons for voting for one specific story, but we invite you to vote in the chat. Let's see. Okay, we have 1 vote for Andrei, 2nd vote for Andrei's story. Okay, we have a 3rd vote saying that all the stories were good. We have another vote for Petru's story. Okay, let's see which story accumulates the most votes. Okay, we have another vote for Angela from Francesca. Thank you for voting. Okay, let me write down the votes. Let me calculate them. So 2 for Andrei, 1 for Petru, 1 for Angela, 1 for Christy, another one for Angela. Well, maybe we should have had hidden votes or anonymous votes. Well, we don't know how to apply this option in Zoom, but if we are going to find it, we're going to use it. Oh, look at the votes, and I would like to say that even though all the stories were very interesting and very creative, and in the end they were unique, even though they were based on the same images, I see that the story of Andrei impressed the most people in this chat, and it received the most votes because it had a element that related to other participants as well. I see Andrei is commenting that he has the first victory today. Okay, I agree. But actually, we were saying that we don't want to stop the flux of creativity just now. And we would like to propose that you work in groups. I will only tell you the instructions for this exercise. We're going to have 2 separate groups. Lucia, is that correct? Yes, 2 groups. In one of the groups, I will participate, and the other one is going to be moderated by Lucia. And the objective of this exercise is the same as the previous exercise. And actually, the 2 groups are not going to be recorded. The discussions are going to be free, open. Nobody is going to verify you. And you are going to be redirected into the separate groups and redirected automatically back to the chat after the time is going to be expired. And you are going to receive an invitation from the host, and you can accept the invitation. Now we are going to show 3 images for your for this exercise. Okay, thank you, Lucia. Now you see 3 images displayed. You see one image that refers to people, another one that refers to context, and a third one referring to activity. Looking at the 3 images, analyzing them, we kindly ask you to generate a story, but after you work in group, you can decide which method you use in the group. You can create a brainstorm, and me and Lucia, we are going to be part of the groups, and we are going to try to help you. But we invite you to formulate a story, and each participant to be involved, and in the end to create a common story. So we give you 20 minutes for brainstorming, for throwing in ideas of what should be the final common story. And I would like to mention that groups have the same images, and we expect different stories, of course, even though you use the same images. We invite you to discuss the ideas for 20 minutes, to generate ideas, to decide which final story represents your group, and to delegate a person that is going to share this story with the rest of the participants. And you have to reply to the question, what we can do in order to stimulate the cooperation in the Republic of Moldova. So look at these images and try to create a story that replies to the question, what we can do to stimulate the cooperation in the Republic of Moldova. That being said, I think that we can launch the working groups. we have 20 minutes reserved for this, and you will be automatically sent to the group. Some of you might receive an invitation and you'll have to accept, but we are going to join the group as well. But the idea is to create a common story to reply to that question. And in addition, I would like to post the the question into the chat. So the question is what we can do together in order to stimulate the cooperation in our country. I write this in the common chat so that everybody has it in writing. So what we can do in order to stimulate cooperation in the Republic of Moldova. Okay. I have a small comment. You will be in group number 1 and I'll be in the group number 2 in order to facilitate the work. And when the groups are going to return after 20 minutes, they will have one person to share with us story. I have a question. I don't see which group I am part of. Just give it a few seconds. You will receive an invitation which will say the following. The host is inviting you to be part of group such, and you have to accept. Each group has 20 minutes to work to find the common story. After that, after 20 minutes, the group is going to dissolve itself and the participants are going to return to this chat. Okay, dear participants, I leave you and I go to group number 1. Okay, thank you. And I will go to group number 2 as well. Persons who were delegated to present this story. Well, first of all, I would like to say that I've heard so many ideas coming from these 3 images. And from our group, we have Andrei, who was trusted by to share the common story. Wait a second, Andrei already spoke once before. He shared his story, so I think that you should give a chance to the second group, not to Andrei again. Okay, I agree. We invite group number 2 because we have a democracy and we listen to what the people want. Okay, how about respecting the gender dimension, and we invite Angela to speak on behalf of the group number 2. Okay, we invite Angela. So based on the 3 images, what ideas were formulated? What story was created as a reply to the question, what can we do to stimulate the cooperation in the Republic of Moldova? Well, first of all, I would like to thank the members of the group for working well together and for delegating me to present the story. And I can say that these stories are, I hope that the other group will like our story. And our story has a title, and we named it The Future of the Small Farmers of Moldova, Household Farmers of Moldova. And we launched the discussion by thinking how we can the activity of small household farming and from the people that are involved in this sector, from the people that know their rights, they have a vision and they have a good, well-defined objective. Small farming have very hard-working people, red-faced people, like as in active people, kind people, people that want to do everything possible to to work their land around their house or to work their land somewhere in the village. So starting from all these elements, these two people go forward and collecting some profit and improving their life where they live. So having these objectives, on one hand, these are small objectives. On the other hand, these are important objectives. And living in an environment where we can hear more and more the fact that we can advance if we have knowledge. We can advance if we access grants or funds. We can develop a business if we focus on recycling, on new sectors. So the small farmers could cooperate amongst each other, starting to use new technologies to cooperate and to access funding in order to implement their ideas. But this can only happen if there's an organization that gives them the information, and this is possible if they're open, if they're willing to make the necessary steps to access the grant and obtain the tools, the technologies, and to improve their process of work. And the third, I can say that if Moldova is going to learn from our experience, small farmers can grow starting with very small activities. And small activities can have a huge impact. With a small activity, their products can be more visible, just like it's shown from the third card. We can grow from 2 centimeters to 10 centimeters. So step by step, baby step, we can create more impact. So I think that groups of farmers can cooperate together if they access new technologies, new grants, and farmers must need to be more open and should not be afraid of the word cooperation in order to grow. Thank you so much. If we would have been in the audience, we would have had a round of applause, but we are online and now we can only give a feedback in the chat. Thank you so much, Angela, for expressing the story and for collecting the ideas of the group. Thank you so much. I actually had very good colleagues in the group, and they all had very good ideas. Thank you so much, Angela, for your story, and I think that you presented a very interesting story, and you raised the competition for us, for the group number 1, and let's see resulted as a common story after the creativity of the entire group. So Andrei, you have the word to present the story created by the entire group. Hello everyone, we discussed in the group. We didn't select a name, but because the previous group had a name, we decided to also name our story, and we name our story "The Cooperation Ensures the Future of Farmers." Looking at the first, we start our story in the following way. In order to have a cooperation, we have to raise awareness among the small farmers, medium farmers, big farmers about what association and cooperation means, both horizontally and vertically. And it doesn't matter the age, the gender of the member, of the farmer. It's important to have a common ground and a common objective in order to cooperate and to promote a similar product or to promote the producers. If we look at the second image, we can say that with the cooperation, or thanks to cooperation, it's possible to have common investments to develop, to innovate, to have a value chain, to not only produce something, but to produce storage, to store it, to process it, to add value added, and to sell it. Of course, the state must initiate the investment, but it will go much faster if we do it in cooperation with the state. And the third image tells us if we have a bigger group, we can optimize our skills, our assets, our knowledge. With regards to technologies, we can have a homogeneous consistent product. We can streamline the production process or the packaging so that all the members use the same process, the same packaging to have the same result. And this way, having this cooperation, we can have industrial lots, which means that we are 10 small farmers, but our production is so consistent, so uniform that we can create industrial volumes. And this gives us much more power to access new markets and to demand the price that is more advantageous to us. And this is the result of a good cooperation. This is a result of the work, the common work and common objective, and to have a sustainable development of each farmer's business. Thank you so much for the history, Andrei. I think that the history was very well presented with interesting ideas, and you've managed to deliver it well, as if it was prepared in advance, not as if you prepared it today in advance and not as a result of the working group. So I would like to thank both speakers in order to appreciate the efforts and to appreciate the creativity of each group. I would like to invite all the participants once again to vote in the chat which story they think was more complex or more successful or closer to what you had in mind when you looked at these images. So it doesn't matter the reason why you vote one story or another, but just vote for one of the stories. So we have two stories of the group one and of the group two. Of course, we cannot monitor who is voting for which group in order to avoid the group to vote for themselves. So we trust your opinion. Just to vote which one you liked the most. I already see the votes coming in, and somebody voted for both. I propose to not call it the story of group number one and story of group number two, because people are getting confused because they were part of different groups. So we are going to call it Andrei's story and Angela's story. Okay, I propose to do the same. So please work Angela's story and Andrei's story, because somebody was part of group number two and voted for group number. They were somehow otherwise divided. So if the people voted for group number two, I want you to confirm that you voted for Andrei's story. Well, I voted for Andrei's story, but I have to be honest and say that both stories were very good. I really like them both. Okay, I'm going to start counting the votes from the chat. Just give me a second. Well, Lucia, please help me out because I'm lost in the votes. I don't know which one has the most. Well, I think that Angela has the most, but the essence of working in group was to test this game, to formulate ideas, to formulate thoughts, and to learn to be creative in your thinking, to use this collective thinking to pick and choose the best ideas to create a story, to create a solution. You've but ultimately, in order to bring a solution, to bring a response to this question. And we just wanted to showcase a innovative method and a new tool for you to use in your activity in order to find solutions. That being said, I would like to ask if you have questions regarding how this tool can be used, how you can apply it into practice. And not lastly, I have another question for you, dear participants, and I kindly ask you to share your experience regarding the environment that you felt in the group when you worked together to identify the story. So share with us, how did you feel in group, and how did the group work? How did it function? How did you reach a common history, a common idea? Because there are many members in the group and many people have many opinions. We kindly ask the participants to mute their audio and to only use the microphone if they would like to speak. Okay, thank you. I'd like to say that based on these cards, based on the images, they can ignite their creativity. And if they're interested to continue this game, this exercise face-to-face, please contact me, because once the situation will permit it, we can bring the cards for you. And I think today both groups showed that they have a lot of creativity and they worked well together. So now, Anna, I give you the word to ask the participants how they felt during this exercise. Yes, I did mention this question. I want to know how the participants felt. For example, I know the feelings and the impressions of the group that I was part of. They were very interested, they were very curious, they wanted to show their opinion. And but still, I would like to hear from the participants, how did they felt, that how was the working process, the environment of the group. Okay, I don't know if I can, but I would like to be first. Okay, Nico, since you spoke first, you can take the word. Well, I saw that in the group there were different opinions regarding the same picture. So it took a while for us to agree commonly on just story. And I think that having these three images, I think that the images give us the road to create a whole story. I think that this is a tool, an exercise that encourages imagination, and it's a way of solving a problem. And once we reached a common ground and we understood that this is the best formulation of the story, it's the happy ending, if I can say it like this, because it's a positive result. We had to discuss which elements of the story to add in the final story. So for us, it was a good experience. Yes, I think you are right. And Vitalia, you can say as well. Well, for me, I really like the atmosphere in the group. It was a positive atmosphere. All the ideas were listened to, accepted. No idea was criticized. We had the symbiosis of ideas, which came in synergy, and this led to a commonly accepted story. For example, I liked this game, like this exercise. I like when a task and there's no conflict in the group, no divergence, even though sometimes the divergence in a group also can lead to a good result, but I like to work in groups with positive experience, positive energy. So much. I would also like to share my experience. I would like to say that as participant in different events, I tried to be part of a co-op in order to help the producers to create another co-op, and I can tell you that in reality the situation is very complicated. We still have a lot of things to learn. Of course, we have positive examples, we have successful stories, but I regret that this is the last session and we cannot continue this exercise because um, it was uncomfortable at the beginning, and then we started feeling good, and when we felt the best, it was the end of the event, it was the end of the session. So I felt very comfortable. I felt that I became friends, virtual friends with most of the participants. Thank you so much for positive feedback. I would like to mention that our cooperation does not end here. We organize these sessions so that the participants get to know each other, get to learn, and why not to continue or to initiate common activities. I'm very happy to hear that the participants were open to share their experience in the working group and in general. And I think we've managed to create or to formulate or to help formulate some interesting ideas and to unleash creativity of each participant. And let me remind you that each participant comes from a different association, a different sector, a different background, but ultimately we hope that this tool will be helpful in your association or in your business. It's possible to apply it there. The applicability of this tool is not limited. You can use it in different contexts, and we think that this tool will be useful when you, let's say, you have a new challenge or a new obstacle. So that being said, I would like to say that today session was very interactive, very interesting, and it was much easier to do the brainstorm because the participants already know each other, they feel at ease with each other, and we hope that this is the good beginning of new cooperations. There are several aspects that we have to clarify with our participants. Or, Lucia, can we go to the next activity that we proposed for today? I think that just like you said, Anna, and just like the husband said, when you are getting close to the end, you feel so good that you would like to extend or delay the ending. So I agree with that. But even though I had this big worries of how we're going to do this game online, but I see that the process improved communication amongst the participants, improved the synergy, the cooperation among us as colleagues, as participants, and I can say that we have achieved our objective, and we can close this exercise and we can go to the next point of our agenda. Because I seem to be lost in words towards the end, but it's okay. And I would like to go to the next important point on the agenda. I'm referring to signing the Memorandum of Understanding between three partners, which created a synergy throughout this lab experiment. And the three actors are the Agro-Industrial College from Ungheni, which is represented here by Mr. Octavian Oboroc. And we also have present today on online platform. Just 1 second. I would like to clarify Mr. Ion Oboroc and Mr. Oboroc delegated Madam Monica Boyan, who is present online. She is part of the administration of this Agro-Industrial College from Ungheni. She is Director for Education. I will let her speak more, but I would like to confirm that she's part of the administration of the college. Hello, Madam Monica, and I'm happy to have you today present. I apologize for interrupting. Okay, not a problem. I was looking at the screen and I saw the name Octavian Oboroc, and I thought that he is the representative, but thank you for clarifying. We have another actor which represents the Facilitator organization. And after the activities and after the discussions on the Zoom platform during the sessions and during the face-to-face activities, this led to the synergy and to preparation of a memorandum of understanding with the objective to promote and elaborate and implement common agricultural projects for guidance, for preparing agricultural producers groups, and maybe also preparing a co-op, including involving the young people that are currently in the educational sector, but young people that see themselves in their future in agriculture or agro-industrial sector. Instead, I give a few words to Angela to share a few words about her experience or her impressions that she had throughout the communication and preparation of this memorandum of understanding, and what activities are going to be implemented in the future by all of us together after signing this memorandum. Thank you so much, dear Lucia, dear participants at this event. We are honored to be here, and I have to say that all things that happen for the first time in life are very memorable. For us, it's an honor, and it's the first time that we sign a memorandum for understanding, such a memorandum with 3 parties and in a virtual manner. So despite the fact that we were not able to meet face to face, we are honored to have so many guests, so many participants that can enjoy this important moment together with us, the signing of the memorandum. And this memorandum gives us the opportunity to be involved and to be part of regional projects and initiatives. You all know that Ungheni region is at the border, and we are the door to the west market, and help thanks to us we can help thousands of young people that are studying the agricultural sector and would like to have a future in this. So discussing with Lucia, we considered that we could and we are compatible to develop concrete initiatives for the future with access on youth mobilization, cooperation, healthy nutrition, enriching nutrition with berries and fruits, and so on. And I can say that all the time I called Lucia, she never rushed me, she never said that she's busy, but she had the patience to explain, to reply to my questions, to give us more details about this idea. With regards to our college, we are here at the region, and so our organization is in the in the building of the industrial college, and we have a know hub where we involve young people, colleagues, in order to build an interactive community where each actor can find something useful. And I would like to mention two other important details. This memorandum is an engagement, a commitment that we give because we want to be better through our activities. And the agro-food sector is one of the objectives of our organization, and the projects and objectives that we have for the 3 years are going to be focused on collaboration, be it national or international, cross-border, or even regional. I'm referring to other rayons around Ungheni, but having as main actors or main target the young people, young farmers that would like to launch a business in the agro-food sector. Yes, we have a lot to learn from each other, but just like my colleague said, using the cooperation and cooperating with other organizations, we can learn from those useful experiences. And I wish that this three parties partnership is a long-term partnership with the results, and I look forward for our 1 year celebration, celebrate the good results that we had during the first year of this cooperation. Thank you so much. We give the word to Madam Boyan as well. Good evening. I'm very happy to see so many good people and so many open people for collaboration to be part of this session. Yes, the memorandum includes training, but also exchange of experience. You started very well today with the topic of collaboration, because being social beings, we try to rate, we try to communicate, and this and we have to have collaboration. We understand this, and our cooperation with the NGO Faclia is a sustainable collaboration. We have a long history collaborating with them. The memorandum doesn't launch our cooperation. We've been cooperating with them before, and I hope that our efforts that we apply in order to train, to educate the youth in the sector of agri-food, we hope that this effort would lead to good results. And also I would like to mention the fact that the citizens, no matter if they are rural areas or urban areas, they will still need food products. And I think that agriculture is the only branch of economy which will always need a market for its products, and also labor force. So we are ready to offer these opportunities, to offer the education, to offer the training for the workforce involved now or in the future in the sector of agro-food. Thank you so much. I would like to thank you for your openness. I would like to thank you for the cooperation, for sharing your experience, for training your generation. And I think that this is the first factor that shows the openness. We are ready to collaborate with you to help out others that would like to enrich their training, their experience based on success stories, based on other people that tested ideas. And just mention, the exchange of experience will be at the basis of the cooperation, because in the bond project we have 17 partners from 12 countries of the European Union, and Moldova is the only country outside of the Union which is part of the bond project. And this will help us very much to create the bridge of communication, to create synergy, to create communication with such partners that are a little bit more advanced. They have several steps forwards, but at the same time they are ready to share their experience, the lessons they learned based on the experience that they had. And also we have the chance to connect with teachers and with universities with hundreds of years of history and tradition in teaching the best examples in agriculture. So that being said, I look forward to meet you de facto in October and to make this exchange of ideas, reach the best results and the final beneficiaries. That being said, I kindly ask each partner to sign the memorandum next week when we are going to meet face to face in a small meeting. We are going to have a chance to exchange the copies, the signed copies of the memorandum. And I'm saying this before I give the word to Madam Angela Hilmi, who is the leader of the Bond project and the author of this concept of these activities, and all these connections between the organizations and countries was thanks to her leadership and the involvement of each country. So while we sign, we give the opportunity to Madam Angela Hilmi to say a few words for encouragement or for mobilizing the participants to participate in the activities that we propose for the next years. So guys, I signed memorandum. I kindly ask Angela and Monica to raise the memorandum with their signatures. And for people that would like to learn about the process of preparing the memorandum, communicating about the memorandum, we can share this process with all the other interested partners. If it's possible to sign together, I would like to ask you to raise the memorandum with the signature so that all of us can take a picture. Dear participants, please give us a few seconds because for us it's quite interesting to have this experience. Wait, I have a good colleague that knows how to picture, and she is going to screenshot this moment because it's a unique experience for all of us, and it's interesting for all the participants to see such moments. And thanks to this experience, we overcame the feelings of fear, frustration, maybe this will not work, maybe that will not work. So thanks to this cooperation, we learned a lot and went to another level. So now we give the word to Madam Angela.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry, I don't speak your language, so I will speak slowly with the interpretation. But first of all, a big round of applause. I am very honored to be with you in this important moment for the signature of this memorandum. This is so important, and it is the fruit of so many efforts, so it is really rewarding. Congratulations to everybody. And this is not the end, it's the beginning. It is the beginning of a whole process. So I wanted to say that I feel very grateful for being here and that I wanted to congratulate everyone. First of all, Lucia, Proentranse, an extraordinary partner, and I've been so impressed by all the work you've been doing, and the partners in Bond who have collaborated. And then all of you, because I've been following and all these sessions that you've been having, and you've done an amazing job and amazing work, and we are very, very impressed. So these are seeds that are planted for the future now. This Bond project is about collective action. It is about together, working together, learning together. And it develops not only our professional collaboration, but as it has proven in the project, our friendship also, because of human amazing capabilities. And Lucia, I was really, was wonderful to meet you and to work with you. So all the work that you have been doing now during these months is going to bear its fruits. And about collective action, there is a little say that I like to say, which says, alone I can walk fast. Together we can walk far. So I think that together we're going to be going very far and move far. And on Bond, we have developed some tools and methods and many different things you can access. So it's just to say that we're staying together, that if you need anything, we are here together, and we're learning also a lot from you and with you. So a huge congratulations to all this amazing work. And thank you very much for the opportunity to be here with you all.
It's very hard to see anything after such kind words from Angela. And these words encourage us to be stronger and to go forward. And this is what we are going to do in future. And the lessons that we've learned throughout these 3 years, I think that these lessons are going to be with us for a long time, and it will help us to mobilize and to go to the next level. We're going to have a lot of courage to create more partnerships, starting from associations to federations, and to grow and to learn continuously. Me personally, I've learned so many things from Angela, starting from the personal level and continuing to the level of the organization, to raise the organization to another level. It's a very important thing to learn, and I'm happy to pass on this knowledge, these lessons to other partners, to other farmers, to other colleagues. Even though we had so many challenges with this online platform, with the communication in different languages, with sharing the information on the screen, with dividing the participants in groups, but we've all managed, and we've managed it together. This is why we are ready to share this tool, this experience, to other countries, to partners from other countries that did not have the chance to test this online tool. So we are ready to be a national and international partner. I would like to thank all the participants for their openness, for their desire to learn, for their desire to go to the next level. Not only for themselves, but to grow in the company, in the community, in the sector. And let's not forget, is affected by the drought, by the pandemic, by the previous disasters. We had the frost, let's not forget about that. And all the farmers have the obstacles to, first of all, have good products, and then to access the market. So all of these challenges are real, and I'm happy that we've managed all the challenges, and we delivered all the sessions, and we made it to the final event. And Angela encouraged us and go forward in the next phases, but we would have loved Angela to be face to face with us, to give personally each certificate. But that is the situation. Sometimes we had a face-to-face session, sometimes we had online session, and we will meet some participants, and we're going to give them in hand these certificates. And for other participants, we are going to send it online via email in PDF format. And if you have the chance, you can come to our office to pick it up in paper format. And one last announcement. As usual, after each round of events, we have an assessment form, an evaluation form. I kindly ask you to find 5 or 7 minutes in order to complete this assessment form, to tell us about how you felt throughout these sessions, both physically, both face-to-face and online sessions, and give us feedback in order to motivate us to approach other topics, other subjects that were not included, and for us to figure out, to try to mobilize, to meet you, and to identify the best solutions for the participants to be involved in these future sessions. Also, I would like Grazia. Also, I would like to say a big thank you to the colleagues from Cordova University, Mamin, also to Julie from Norway, also to Francesca from France, and not lastly, our colleagues from the Cordoba University colleagues who are actually the authors of this game simulator and other tools that we tested in the bond project, uh, and the online session, which was the first of its kind for Moldova and for the bond project. I would like to thank very much our project leader, Angela Hilmi, who guided us and helped us to grow and to go to the next level. Also, I would like to thank to the colleagues that were behind all the 17 teams. I would like to thank to our colleagues from Romania, Eco Ruralis, Stella and Raluca, because behind these events that happened online, we've had many other hours of preparations, logistics, sharing the ideas, and selecting the best information and best concepts so that the participants, can take the most important and useful information. That being said, if somebody would like to say a few words regarding the involved actors, I invite you now to take the microphone. Is referring to Anna, who participated to all the online sessions and facilitated the communication with the participants and the interaction with the participants and the involvement of the interpreter, so that it's clear for everybody the ideas exchanged in both languages. We would like to thank the interpreter for facilitating the communication between the facilitator, moderator, and participants. Anna, we would like to thank you very much for all the connections and communication that you provided. You are always open to improve the concepts, improve the information that we were preparing for the sessions. Thank you so much, Lucia, and also I would like to thank the participants for being open, for being willing to be part of this sessions, and we would like to thank the partners for being next to us and helping us to learn, sharing with us their experience and sharing with us their. I have to admit that I've learned so many new things, and I learned a lot of useful tools. Thank you very much for your patience, because we realized that some online sessions were not as smooth as others, and but we admit in the end that we've managed to overcome all the obstacles. Thank you so much, Lucia, for adding me to this session, and I look forward for new challenges. Thank you so much. I kindly invite the participants to keep in touch with us, with the organizers, first of all, by submitting that evaluation form, where they can write what problems they face, what are the topics they're interested in, for us to orient our activities according to their needs. I look forward to have a fruitful cooperation for the future, just like we had until now. Once again, if one of the participants would like to communicate with us, would like to say a few words, we are open for any collaboration and cooperation. Is there anyone interested in saying a few closing words? Well, Lucia, maybe I spoke a lot today, but since we have a session that we are invited so much to say a few words, I would like to thank you for the I would like to thank you for the content, very valuable content that you passed on to us. Now we are planning the activities based on the content, and the three organizations that signed today the memorandum, which is actually representing the continuation of this project, we take the engagement to create an action plan, and the action plan will be shared to all the participants, and not only today's participants, but other target groups. And we hope that from small activities that don't need huge financial resources, but it will help us to create a solid base for a more complex project, not a project, but maybe a program where we can involve youth and farmers and producers from Ungheni region. I really want in the future to have some activities, some results together with a positive impact. And let's remember that we placed the fundamental elements today, 18th of September 2020, and I look forward to achieve all these results and to look back at this day as the first day in this journey. Thank you so much, Angela. Also, I would like to remind the colleagues, the partners, the representatives of the organizations that created action and then adjusted it according to the new conditions during the pandemic, and also adjusted to other conditions like the drought or other obstacles that happen in their activity. And the action plans will be adjusted again, and the participants that have questions, have unclarities on how to do these adjustments, they can contact us to benefit from the support of the experts and good consultants that participated in the previous sessions. So that being said, I see nobody else would like to speak. So I guess I have to close the session. And I would like to say once again, thank you very much to all the participants, all the actors, all the partners that took place under the project bond of bringing up organizations and network development. And thank you very much. I don't know what else to say. Until next time then. Okay, thank you so much.